period.
According to what we know about history, 12,000 years ago, people were living in small groups of hunter-gatherers. The exact opposite of a society you'd think would be capable of creating the largest monolith on planet Earth to date. And in the words of John Anthony West,
the proof that the Sphinx precedes dynastic Egypt by many thousands of years means there was at some distant past sophisticated civilizations.
And water erosion wasn't their only surprising find. They also found what seemed to be a large, room-sized cavity under the left front paw of the Sphinx.
We were not looking for structures under the Sphinx. I was actually looking for subsurface mineralogical changes, but we found some structures. Most importantly, we found a chamber under the left paw.
Surprisingly, when West and Schock revealed these findings in their documentary and word of an undiscovered room under the Sphinx started to spread, the Egyptian authorities immediately banned them from continuing their research altogether. And the man responsible for getting them banned was this guy, Zahi Hawass.
I am Zahi Hawass.
When I do archaeology, you listen to me. Shut up! I don't want anyone to talk, or I will leave!
His official title is a Minister of Antiquities, but that basically just means that he's the spokesperson for what we're supposed to accept the history of ancient Egypt is. And in his words, West and Schock's research was nothing more than American hallucinations. This next part, I can't even make up. In 1996, a year after banning John Anthony West and Robert Schock from studying the Sphinx, a new $10 million project for digging the ground around the Sphinx was approved by the Egyptian government and was led by none other than Zahi Hawass himself. And to build up some hype around the project, they released a teaser video with the star Zahi Hawass entering tunnels under the Sphinx with not one mention of these American hallucinations. And the video showed Hawass entering the Sphinx through a hole which led down into an underground tunnel. And once inside, Hawass joyfully exclaimed on camera, "Even Indiana Jones will never dream to be here. Can you believe it? We are now inside the Sphinx in this tunnel. No one really knows what's inside this tunnel, but we are going to open it for the first time." And this is where the teaser ends, leaving many to wonder, what the heck did they find in that tunnel? Because 2 years after the project began, Hawass again reversed his position as he abruptly shut down the project and became adamant that there was absolutely nothing under the Sphinx.
Nothing is hidden underneath the Sphinx. What you believe, it's nonsense.
Going so far to even deny the existence of holes that go into the Sphinx altogether, which is kind of crazy because it's actually well documented that there are holes going into the Sphinx. Like this hole on top of the head, which is currently sealed shut with concrete, or this hole covered by a block with a tunnel clearly leading under the Sphinx, and this hole on the back, which Zahi himself is on video looking down into. But when asked about these chambers, all he says is, "We already looked and there's nothing down there. It's probably a shaft that was put there by treasure hunters." Really? A useless shaft from low-life treasure hunters? Doesn't seem to add up to me. I mean, if this truly was the case, then why not at least show us some picture or video proof? Why block off the holes entirely and ban anyone else from going down there? And why, with so much evidence to the contrary, is it still accepted fact that the Sphinx was built 4,500 years ago?
In 1997, the Art Bell radio program aired an interview with Richard Hogan regarding the recent discovery of a new room under the pyramids through a secret shaft under the Sphinx. Inside the room was a statue of a black man. This information was suppressed but leaked out through the testimony of an eyewitness guard. Following are excerpts from this program. Notice that the Europeans wrestle with their denial of the black African truth, even in the face of new undeniable evidence.
What this guard reported was that on October 20th, Farouk El-Baz, the same man who picked the Apollo landing sites on the moon according to the Orion-Sirius connection,
Yes.
and 2 English-speaking Europeans carrying a large aluminum case entered the Great Pyramid that morning for 3 hours on October 20th. They proceeded to put a robot up the shaft and a camera with a fiber optic connection under the crack in the door. They proceeded to look through to find what was inside a chamber, and there is a chamber back there, according to the story, which is about 3 meters by 2.5 meters in size.
Yes.
There is a statue in this room.
A statue.
Of a black man.
A black man.
Seated, looking up the shaft toward the star Sirius at the Meridian crossing.
Wow.
And there is more.
There's more.
Isn't this getting to be interesting?
It is, yes. Now, let's define black. Here's a fax from Jerry in Clovis, California. My teacher, a colleague, told me the Egyptians were very dark Caucasians. I guess this new discovery proves it to be true. They were not black. So, do you want to stick with your description of a black man, or would this be a dark-skinned Egyptian, or is that too close a call to make?
No, the description was a black man.
A black man.
Yeah, yeah.